Welcome to the Dub Dive. Today we are attempting something ambitious. We're trying to map a literary universe. Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time.
Yeah, it's that massive 7-volume novel, the one everyone talks about as, both one of the greatest ever written, maybe one of the hardest to actually get through.
Exactly. It's got this formidable reputation.
It really does.
Yeah.
Published over quite a span, 1913 to 1927. And it's fundamentally this semi-autobiographical, very modernist, very psychological deep dive.
Into what, specifically?
Well, into memory, mainly, and time. And also a really close look at French high society, sort of as it was fading late 19th, early 20th century.
Okay, so our mission here isn't just to, summarize 4,000 pages. That's impossible.
Yeah.
It's more about giving you a kind of structural blueprint. How does this massive thing fit together? What's the core idea driving it all?
And what's the big conclusion Proust comes to at the very end?
Yeah.
Because there is a major revelation.
Yeah, hopefully you walk away really getting what the novel's about, and maybe just as importantly, why it casts such a long shadow over literature that came after.
Agreed. And I think to really get it, you have to start small, with the core mechanism, the engine of the whole thing.
Which comes down to this single, really legendary moment involving a pastry, right?
Exactly. The Madeleine, we have to start there. It's in the first volume, Swann's Way.
Okay, so set the scene for us. What happens?
It's incredibly simple, almost mundane on the surface. The narrator, who's largely Proust himself, or a version of him, tastes a little cake, a Madeleine dipped in tea.
Just a normal, everyday moment.
Totally normal. But the taste, that specific sensation, triggers this sudden, overwhelming flood of memory. His entire childhood in a place called Cambrai just comes rushing back, fully formed.
And this isn't just like, oh yeah, I remember Cambrai. It's different.
Well, completely different. This is the key concept Proust introduces, involuntary memory.
Okay, define that. How is it different from just remembering?
So voluntary memory is when you consciously try to recall something, like thinking, what did I have for breakfast? You retrieve a fact, often kind of faded.
Right. Effortful.
Yes. Involuntary memory is triggered by a sensation, a taste, a smell, maybe a sound or texture. It bypasses the conscious mind and brings the past back whole, with all the original feelings and atmosphere intact. It's like stepping back into that moment.
So the past isn't really gone. It's just dormant, waiting for the right key.
That's the huge insight. Proust suggests that the feeling we have of being transformed by time, of our past selves being lost, is partly an illusion. That past self is still there, preserved, accessible through these sensory triggers.
Wow. Okay. And that idea, that non-linear sudden recovery of the past, that shapes how the book is written.
Absolutely. It dictates the whole style, which, let's be honest, is famous for being difficult.
The sentences. We have to talk about the sentences. They go on forever, pages sometimes. Why?
Well, Proust argues that our actual flow of thought and sensation is like that. It's complex, layered, associative. It doesn't follow neat, short sentence structures.
So he's trying to capture consciousness before we filter it, before logic steps in.
Precisely. Those long, winding sentences are his attempt to mirror that pre-rationalized flow. It's stream of consciousness, capturing the nuances, the qualifications, the sheer detail of inner experience.
So it's not just showing off, it's a technique to get closer to psychological reality.
Exactly. He's meticulously observing the inner world, but also the outer world, the social rituals, the gestures, the way light falls on a curtain. It's all part of this attempt to capture lived experience truthfully.
Okay, so that's the micro level, the mechanism of memory and the style it creates. But this plays out over a massive canvas, these 7 volumes. It looks intimidating.
It does. But there's a definite arc. Think of it as a journey that involves a lot of disillusionment, actually, before reaching that final understanding.
Let's walk through that journey then, volume by volume, but focusing on the main shifts.
Okay. Volume 1, Swann's Way. It sets up the world. We get the narrator's childhood, Cambrai, the famous Madeleine moment.
And then it shifts focus.
Yes, to a story within the story. The tortured love affair of Charles Swann, a family friend, with a woman named Odette de Crécy. It's this intense study of jealousy and obsession.
Setting a theme for later, perhaps.
Definitely. It introduces how love and desire can be tangled up with illusion and pain. Then, Volume 2, In the Shadow of Young Girls in Flower.
Sounds like adolescence.
It is the narrator's own first loves, his sexual awakening. He's also developing his sense of art and beauty, visiting the seaside, meeting new people. This one actually won a big literary prize, the Prix Goncourt.
So he's growing up, moving out into the world, which leads to Volume 3, The Guermantes Way. The title points towards high society.
Exactly. He finally gets access to the Parisian aristocracy, the elite Guermantes family he's idealized from afar.
And is it everything he hoped for?
Not quite. This is where the disillusionment really kicks in. He observes them up close and finds, well, vanity, emptiness, social maneuvering. The perceived glamour doesn't match the reality.
Hold on. If the goal is this big insight about time and art, why spend so much time on dinner parties and social snobbery? Seems like a detour.
It might seem like it, but it's crucial. Proust has to show the failure of seeking meaning in the external world. Social status, belonging to the in crowd, he meticulously demonstrates that it's hollow.
So the deep dive into society is necessary to prove it isn't the answer.
Precisely. You have to exhaust the external possibilities before you turn inward for the real truth. That detailed social observation proves the inadequacy of the world.
Okay, that makes sense. Which brings us to Volume 4, Sodom and Gomorrah. The title suggests hidden lives, secrets.
Yes, this volume dives deep into themes of homosexuality, hidden desires, and the hypocrisy bubbling beneath the surface of polite society. It exposes the secrets in double lives, further stripping away the facade.
So the social critique gets darker, more intense.
Much more. And then the focus narrows again, becoming intensely personal in the next 2 volumes, The Prisoner and The Fugitive.
These focus on a specific relationship, right, Albertine?
Yes. The Prisoner is this almost claustrophobic account of the narrator's obsessive relationship with Albertine. He's possessive, intensely jealous, trying to control her every move.
Sounds painful.
It is. And then in The Fugitive, she leaves him, suddenly. And the novel shifts to exploring grief, loss, absence, and how memory reshapes our understanding of someone once they're gone. It's about how little we truly know the people we're obsessed with.
So childhood wonder, social climbing, disillusionment, hidden desires, obsessive love, devastating loss. It's quite the emotional roller coaster.
This covers a vast spectrum of human experience, and all this leads to the final volume, Time Regained, the resolution.
After all that, what does he finally figure out? What's the big revelation?
He's older now, attending a party, and suddenly a series of new involuntary memories hit him: the unevenness of paving stones, the sound of a spoon, the feel of a napkin.
More Madeleine moments?
Sort of, yes. And in that flood of recovered past, he has the epiphany. He realizes the past is recoverable, fully alive within him, but not through effort, not through society, not even through love.
So how?
Through art, through creation. He realizes that the only way to truly grasp the meaning of his life, to preserve those fleeting moments of truth captured by involuntary memory, and to fight back against the decay of time, is to write it all down, to turn his life into a work of art.
So the novel we've just read is, in a way, the result of the discovery made at the end of the novel.
Exactly. It's a beautifully circular structure. The novel itself becomes the act of time regained that the narrator realizes he must undertake.
Okay, let's pull back and look at the major themes that thread through all 7 volumes, leading to that conclusion.
Well, the most obvious one is time itself, how it changes us, how we perceive it, but also how memory can conquer it, in a way.
It shows that time isn't just linear destruction. Involuntary memory proves the past coexists with the present.
Right. Then there's love and desire, and Proust's take is pretty bleak, actually.
Yeah, Swann's obsession, the narrator's thing with Albertine, it's all jealousy, possession, illusion.
Very much so. Love is shown as often being more about the lover's own needs and projections than about the reality of the loved one. The pain of relationships seems necessary to teach the limits of seeking fulfillment in others.
And the third big one, we touched on it with the Guermantes, society and class.
Yes, it's this incredibly detailed, often satirical, but also kind of empathetic portrait of the French aristocracy and bourgeoisie. He lays bare the rituals, the snobbery, the vanity.
But again, showing its ultimate emptiness as a source of meaning.
Which leads directly to the final overarching theme, art and aesthetics. This is the answer Proust lands on.
The why of the whole project.
Exactly. Art, specifically writing for the narrator, is the way to make sense of it all. To analyze experience, preserve those moments of involuntary truth, and give shape and meaning to a life that otherwise feels chaotic and wasted.
But wait a minute, if art is the solution, does that mean only artists get to regain time? What about us regular readers?
That's a really good question. I don't think Proust is saying you literally have to become a novelist. It's more about adopting an artistic consciousness.
Meaning
The act of reflection, of paying close attention to your own experience, of trying to understand and structure it. That process of inner creation is available to everyone. It's about valuing and exploring your own inner life as the source of truth rather than chasing external validation.
So the novel encourages the reader to undertake their own kind of search.
I think so.
Yeah.
It demands a certain kind of attentive reading, a slowing down that mirrors the process of reflection itself.
It sounds incredibly deep, but we can't ignore the fact that many people start it and don't finish. What are the real challenges? Why is it seen as so difficult?
Oh, the challenges are definitely real. First, the sheer length is daunting. We're talking thousands of pages.
And the pace can be very slow, right? Lots of
Yeah.
introspection.
Extremely introspective in parts. And those famous long sentences require real concentration. Plus, the detailed focus on aristocratic manners and social codes can feel, well, a bit alien or irrelevant to modern readers sometimes. You need patience.
Okay, fair enough. But on the flip side, why the enduring legacy? Why is it still considered by many to be the novel of the 20th century?
Because the payoff is immense. The psychological depth is just staggering. He captures the nuances of consciousness, emotion, jealousy, grief, longing, the joy of beauty like no one before him.
He basically created a new way to write about the inner self.
He really did. That stream of consciousness approach, the focus on subjective experience, it hugely influenced writers who came immediately after, like Virginia Woolf and James Joyce. And you can trace its impact much later, too.
It showed the novel could be this incredibly powerful tool for exploring what it means to be human just through one person's detailed inner life.
Absolutely. So for you, the listener, what does it all boil down to? Proust's massive work is ultimately this profound argument for the richness and importance of your own inner world.
It suggests that the most significant truths aren't out there in grand events, but hidden in the everyday details, the sensory experiences.
That taste, that smell, that glimpse of something,
Yeah.
they aren't trivial. They're portals. They contain whole worlds, whole selves. The past isn't just something you remember. It's literally inside you.
Reading Proust is almost like training yourself to notice those portals in your own life.
That's a great way to put it. It's an exercise in slowing down, paying attention.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to consider.
Go on.
Proust had his tea-soaked madeleine. It unlocked Cambrai. What about you? Is there some specific sensory thing in your life? Maybe it's the smell of rain on hot pavement, or a certain song from years ago, or the texture of an old book.
Something seemingly small.
Yeah, something small and specific that, if you really let it, might just trigger one of those involuntary memories. What piece of your past, whole and uncorrupted, might be waiting inside a forgotten sensation? Thinking about that connects Proust's huge book right back to your own unique human experience.